For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lydia Vorster. Together with my husband, Andre, we've been in real estate since 2005 in the northern suburbs of Cape Town, specifically Durbanville. We were with Remax for 16 years until we moved to EXP. This morning, we'd like to give you a quick look at some of the systems and tools we use daily to make our work easier and serve our clients better. So without further ado, let me hand you over to Andre.
Thank you very much, Lydia. So nice to have you guys here. Looking forward to an interesting session, which we will be doing on a monthly basis now as well. Okay, I'm just going to dive right in. So there, you all know, if you've been on my ChatGPT webinars, my favorite sayings. So this is just a sort of a quick big picture before we really get into the tools we want to discuss today. So AI and technology are not here to replace us as agents. I say this over and over, but they are going to raise the standard and raise the bar of how we should operate. And agents who learn to use these tools properly, they are the ones that are going to pull away from the rest. That's just a fact. And it feels to me as though 2026, possibly even end of last year, was a real tipping point. Okay, and what used to be optional in your businesses is actually now becoming the baseline of what it should be. Right, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a practical plan or a blueprint as we use it, and what we use day to day, and then why it actually works for us and how it works for us. As Lydia said, please keep questions till after the presentation and keep your mics on mute. We will chat afterwards. Okay, now before we jump in, I just want to explain why this session really matters. So real estate is changing faster than most agents can actually keep up, right? I mean, tech and AI, marketing, compliance, everything's just changing all the time, and it's changing fast. And we as agents can very easily feel overwhelmed by all of this. As you will obviously know, most agents are working harder than ever to earn almost the same money. But hard work alone is just not creating consistency anymore. What will create consistency is using good tools and systems that will improve, let's just say, let's improve three things in your business. Firstly, it improves your brand, especially your personal brand. It'll improve your productivity, and it'll improve your exposure out there to the market. Okay, now after our general ChatGPT webinars, which I've been doing for a year every month, and AI webinars, many agents asked, what are the other tools and systems that we actually use in our business specifically? So today, it's not about theory. I'm going to show you exactly what we use in real life to grow and to protect our business really as such. And then you can decide, what parts are worth using for you. So just a note up front, most of you will know that we are with EXP. So many of the tools that you see here actually sit within our EXP ecosystem. So some of what I show you today is only for EXP, but many are actually external tools that any agent can use and subscribe to. So the goal here is simply to actually help you make informed decisions about what will work for your business going forward. Okay, so in short, if you walk away today with some good practical ideas, then we've achieved exactly what we came to do. Okay. There again, the future is going to reward agents who build scalable, system-driven businesses. Okay, these days, actually your clients, my clients, our clients are expecting speed and professionalism and consistency, right? They expect these things from us. And we really need technology to be able to deliver on those expectations. So again, think today of as a sort of a blueprint that you could implement in your business. I'm liking the word blueprint, as you can hear, and a blueprint of what a modern sort of real estate business will look like. Okay, remember again, tools and technology are meant to free up agents so that you've got more time to spend with people. I can never say this enough. It's a people's business, but the tech helps us in many ways to scale your business. Right, I just want to mention, and there's a reason for this. So our daughter Shanae joined real estate in 2023 with no database, obviously, at a very young age. I think it was 20 at the time. No database, no prior experience, obviously. She had no list of past clients. And by 2025, she became the youngest Icon agent in EXP. And the Icon Award is the highest production recognition you get in EXP. So she managed to build her business very, very rapidly by using, this technology-driven sort of system that we have and collaborating nationally, which you're going to see a lot of today, and just really fully utilizing the model that we have available. And yeah, so to Icon, in a 12-month period, what she did in order to achieve Icon status is she sold in the last 12 months, she sold about, I think it's 40 properties. Okay, so Shanae really is living proof that implementing these systems does work. Okay, so I just have to throw that in there. Very, very proud of you, Shanae. Okay, now, even though we're talking systems and tech, I like to sort of divide it into so that you know where it fits into your business. So today is simple. Okay, we're going to divide it into 3 sections, all with one single goal, which is to create a more predictable business flow and flow of leads, etc. Now, okay, as you see there, section 1 is going to be about lead generation and nurturing and how we get more leads and follow up better and sort of manage to get a higher conversion, let's say, of those leads into real paying business. So the goal is also obviously to stop any leads falling through the cracks because you don't have a system in place. Okay, in section 2, once you've got leads, so section 2 is about listing and marketing systems. Ways to do better marketing and get wider exposure, both local and globally, right? Internationally. So this section basically about sort of presenting yourself better and reaching beyond the normal and obvious places that everybody was used to in our industry. And in section 3, we're going to be looking at artificial intelligence and training and just growth and just how we upskill ourselves and how you can strengthen your own personal brand as well. And then, sort of build income that's much more stable and predictable over time. So if you follow the flow today, each section we will see will build on the last. And by the end, you'll have a clearer picture of what you could improve first, what would work for you. Okay. It actually builds up towards the end. The end is the best part of the whole presentation. But nevertheless, okay, so let's start with section 1, which is going to be about lead generation and lead nurturing, etc. So, I mean, this is what's supposed to help you stay top of mind consistently. Okay, so when you use the right tools, you will generate better leads over time. You'll be able to nurture them better over time and eventually convert more of them into actual clients. Because remember, even people you speak to today, they might not be ready to transact. They might be selling their property in 3 years' time. And if you didn't stay top of mind, then maybe they won't think of you when the time comes. Okay, so in this section, I'm going to walk you through sort of how we go about creating predictable growth. Okay, I just have to start off firstly, but you see this frustration. So every agent's daily battle. This is sort of just a quick overview of the systems and then how we access them. So we've got lots of systems. How do we access them easily, etc.? I'm sure many of you know this sort of pain and this type of thing where we all use multiple systems and programs and you've got multiple logins and passwords, and then none of them sort of talk to each other or sync with each other, so to say. So this is actually where many agents actually lose a lot of time, and you can actually lose focus by fumbling around between systems. So we use a system that simplifies all of this dramatically. I'm going to show you quickly. Yeah, so let me show you what that looks like. It just makes life easier. So what we've got is we've got a system called Okta. It's our all-in-one sort of single sign-on system that we use to access all our systems. So basically, you've got a universal login. You log in, one password, you're in your Okta system, and then from there, everything you need is in one place. So it pretty much removes the frustration of jumping between different systems all day, from one to the next. So from here, we'll access our CRM, all our marketing tools, document templates, Fika systems, flow marketing, which I'm going to talk about later, amazing. Even our support staff you're going to see, and much more. Okay, all from one central place. So this alone probably saves us a lot of time, just knowing everything is in one place. That's pretty much what it looks like. That's your Okta dashboard. Every EXP agent gets one. So it's simple, it's clean. Everything is just right where you need it. You'll see almost every tool you'll see over here is actually going to be discussed today. And every tool that we do discuss today is accessed from this single screen. So it really does sort of create order in the chaos. Okay, so you'll see we're going to be talking about PropCon. Obviously, some of these systems will be familiar to you. Many of you will use them, but we'll be touching on them anyway, so you just see how they fit into our sort of flow of business. Right. On this slide, lead generation in an evolving world. You need to know, if you don't, I'm sure some of you are on top of it, but that lead generation has changed completely, okay? And those agents who adopt technology properly and artificial intelligence will have a massive advantage going forward. So again, the agents who embrace this early, they are going to get ahead fastest. Right. Now, most agents actually struggle with lead generation, okay? But it's actually usually not the agent's fault. It's usually that many agencies actually still operate with outdated systems. Many of them don't have any real CRM, and they don't have automation and artificial intelligence built in and so on. So this tends to leave agents guessing and actually working harder than they really need to work. Now, a modern CRM, okay, uses data intelligently. So it's a much more intelligent system than the ones we were used to a while back. And they help you to nurture your leads properly. So the result then is lead generation and lead nurturing, which I can't say enough about, that actually delivers predictable results. All right. So when you use the best CRM, the main thing is it's not about luck anymore then, right? Then it's about creating a predictable and structured future and workflow. No more luck, it's predictable. All right. So let's look at some of the practical lead generation tools. I mean, many of you will be aware of these. I'm just going to touch them to see how our flow works. So there are various different ones. These are the ones that we use. We personally use a mix of these tools on a daily basis for lead generation. So obviously, those of you that know Lightstone will give us all the data we need. Well, you don't have to go too deep into that. I'll touch on it just now. The virtual agent on our hand then gives us owner contact details. So once we know who our owner of a property is, for instance, then we can get their contact details there. And then our PropCon CRM, that just keeps everything organized. So when you combine all these, and then you also combine them with artificial intelligence and targeted online ads, which you're going to see later on in this presentation, targeted and paid ads. So when you combine all that, then your lead flow is going to become consistent and, again, more predictable, okay? And we'll be looking at that in section 3. Okay, so these tools, basically, if they're used correctly, they help you stay visible and relevant to property owners in the area that you work in, which is what we're talking about here, right? That's where your leads are going to come from. So it's a simple set of tools, but it's incredibly powerful when sort of used and combined together and combined with other marketing tools, which we'll touch on later. All right, Lightstone, as you know, many of you are familiar with it. So Lightstone will give us property reports and data that we need to prospect for leads sort of intelligently, right? So you can get property reports, you can get street reports, suburb reports, trends, suburb trends, etc. It basically just gives us what we need quickly and accurately. The main thing in this sense now for lead generation is obviously owner information. Who is the owner? What's their name? What's their ID number, etc. So obviously you can also pull up different types of reports within seconds that you can use for other purposes like your CMAs and your valuation estimates and so on from clients. But okay, here we're actually talking about getting information so that you can sort of farm for leads. Okay, right. So in any case, we all know that knowing your area that you're working is very, very important, and this type of data also helps you with that. Okay, so you would see there, obviously from Okta, it's right there, you just click and you're into Lightstone. Okay, moving on. Now you've got an owner details. So you've got that. Now you need the contact details. So this is for this, we use the virtual agent. Because this is one of the most frustrating parts of prospecting is finding accurate contact details. You don't want to have 5 numbers pop up and none of them work type of thing, okay? So accurate owner data is very much the difference between wasting your time doing lead generation or actually generating real opportunities. Okay, the virtual agent, there you go. Within Okta, you just click through and you're in it. That's pretty much what it looks like. I'm not going to go too much. Many of you will know this. You can search by ID number or by company registration number, etc. As you'll see there, us at EXP, you have 60 credits every single day. It just gets added. So this is included for all EXP agents. So every single day you can look up 60 owners' contact details on the virtual agent. Right. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. Once you've got the leads, what happens next? Okay. So let me say something here that sometimes people get a bit uncomfortable about, is that you don't actually lose business because you're a bad agent. Okay. So yeah, agents don't lose business because they're bad agents. They actually lose business because they don't have a proper system most of the time. So follow-ups get missed, and potential leads tend to go cold. And so in this sense, basically, opportunities quietly disappear into the cracks. I love saying into the cracks as well. And it's not because we don't care, right? It's because without a structured CRM, your database actually leaks money, as you see on the slide there. So for us, PropCon is actually the backbone of our business in many ways, not just the CRM, as you'll see later on. It's one of our core operating systems. And okay, so it's not just the CRM. It's actually, you'll see, we handle our sales and our listings and everything through PropCon. But here we're talking about the CRM part of it. So for the CRM part of PropCon manages our database. Okay. What's very important is PropCon was really specifically built for the South African market and for South African agents. And that makes a big difference. So anyway, it really fits our workflow and our compliance environment, which is very important. It syndicates to all the important portals, etc., which we'll see later. But the CRM portion of PropCon, once again, what I'm actually talking about here is what we use to stay organized and consistent with our leads, which you've now obtained with Lightstone and a virtual agent or from wherever else. So this helps us to stay consistent and stay top of mind. And this is really matters in the whole scheme of your business. Okay, moving on. So there again, you just would go straight into PropCon and then you're in the system. I'm just going to touch on this. When you're in PropCon, obviously on the left, you've got all your menus. As I said, listings, your deal tracking, etc. So here we're talking about contacts and adding contacts. Right, now, how do you build your database in your CRM, in PropCon? So how does it actually grow, in other words? There's three ways, basically. So you can either manually add your contacts wherever they come from, so add them one by one, all their details. Otherwise, obviously, if you've got a whole lot of contacts sitting somewhere, you can import it very easily with, in bulk, basically, using spreadsheets. And this is where it gets powerful. So the third way, as I said, there are three ways, right? Manually, bulk. And then the third way, what's very handy, because all our systems are tied together, whenever you get an inquiry from any of the portals, right, from Property24 or from the EXP website or Private Property, whatever, all the international portals, they automatically feed straight into our CRM. Okay, so you don't have to later go and copy it over or forward it somewhere. Or you don't need to get an admin assistant to make sure that lead goes into your CRM. It automatically goes in there. And in fact, it immediately populates a wish list and stuff, which we're not going to talk about now. But yeah, so it just lands in the system. So your list is also automatically populating the whole time. So that alone also, it removes a lot of friction and saves a lot of time. Now, once your database is set up, you've actually got people within the database, which come from all over. This is an ongoing process. But once it is set up, now nurturing your leads becomes effortless. Okay, so what does this actually mean for us on a day-to-day basis? What does it mean in practice? It means basically that every single contact now lives in one central place. Okay, so for every contact, you can have notes and records of conversations with that contact. And you can tag contacts and individually, etc. So you can set up automated reminders for birthdays or property anniversaries, etc. You can schedule follow-ups and future callback reminders and things like that. Tasks can be linked directly to specific people. So nothing, basically, the big thing is nothing floats in a notebook or a diary somewhere like we used to have. Now it's all centralized, and we can. Another thing, we can send bulk email or text campaigns as well directly from the system to the contacts in your system. Okay, and then also very importantly is it helps us remain POPI compliant because POPI permissions are tracked automatically and customers can also update them themselves. So very important, it helps us to remain compliant there. So basically all this just helps us to become the agent who never forgets, let's say, right? Stay top of mind. We never forget anything because you get reminded by the CRM. All right. This slide just says it all. So in my opinion, the strongest asset that an agent has is not their car, it's not their office, it's not their phone, it's not their laptop. It is their database. That's your strongest asset. That's the biggest tool in your business to make sure you got future leads. But without structured follow-up and nurturing of those leads and their database, then it's just a useless contact list, really. Okay, so we don't want a useless contact list. We want a structured system with follow-up and nurturing. PropCon turns these contacts and our contact list into a real proper business system. Right. Now, so generating leads is only half the job. Okay, actually converting them into real income generating sales is where this value lies. Right. So it's a people's business, but we are in business. We are agents. We need to sell properties. So converting our leads into real income generating business, and some point is where the value lies for us. So to convert effectively, you need proper world-class exposure, all right, and professional marketing tools. That's where the listing and marketing side now comes in. So remember, this is very important to remember. We always think of, let's say you're marketing a property, you just think, okay, you're trying to sell the property, you're trying to find buyers. But the way you are marketing your current listings is often the biggest differentiator in winning future listings, because your future potential sellers are also looking at listings in their area, right? They're starting to think of selling, so they're starting to look at it. And so everything you're doing online is not just to sell that property. It's also helping you sort of set yourself apart from other agents to win future listings. And we'll be looking at a bit of that as well. Right, so on to section 2 then. Now we move into the second big area, section 2, where we'll be looking at basically listing properties and marketing and compliance and collaboration, big one. So this is where agents can really separate themselves massively from the competition. Okay, you don't have to just be the standard agent. You can really separate yourself and stand out above the crowd. Professional systems, basically, that provide world-class exposure and all this coupled with strong processes that give you a powerful edge. Okay, well, let's just look at this. So let's look at how you can elevate your listings and your service using the right systems. And this is also, again, where sellers start to see the difference between an average agent and a top-tier agent. Okay, they are stalking you online. They're looking at what you're doing. So your future sellers, this is where they start differentiating between agents. Okay, on that slide, these days, sellers definitely expect more than just good photos and good listing descriptions. They really expect to see a full marketing strategy. They also expect maximum exposure, not only locally, but also internationally. The world is getting smaller and smaller. So they expect that from us. Now, if you can show that you deliver all of this, again, you instantly stand out, because most agencies and agents don't deliver all of this. So let me show you how we do this with the tools that we have at our disposal. And I'm not going to say this enough. Again, great marketing is not only about advertising a listing. It's also one of the fastest ways to win future referrals. I'll say this over and over. Okay, so again, for this part, again, you're basically going to PropCon, that's our listing system, into the listings menu. Obviously, you've got all the tabs at the top there, overview, your info section where you would load in all the details, etc., etc. YouTube links if you have that. You've got access to a prop bot, so that's basically ChatGPT within the system. How can you help you with your listing descriptions in various ways? And of course, the gallery, all your photos, you can drag and drop them. Very important, you've got a drive for every property, so you can upload the specific documents for every single property there, so they're nice and safe and all in one place. All right. Now, what's very, very nice, once you've loaded a listing as well, is you get a listing quality score. So this alerts you to things that you could improve to make sure that your listing will do better out there and be more sort of visible. All right. Now, local exposure is good, but just loading a quality listing doesn't mean much on its own, okay? You just loaded a listing. That means nothing, really. It's the exposure of that listing that really, really matters. So local exposure is obviously important, but again, I'm saying it again, these days, global exposure is really a game changer. Buyers today search internationally, especially in the luxury market, but not only there these days. So when you can tell a seller that their property will truly be visible worldwide, again, everything changes. So it's, again, another major differentiator when you're doing your listing presentations. All right. And I must say, we have had many, many buyers from abroad, not only in the luxury markets, okay, purely because of this expanded reach. Right. For us, this is what global exposure looks like. So through ProperStar, the ProperStar network, our listings actually are automatically syndicated to, I think it's more than 34 countries. Does it say it there? Anyway, it's more than 34 countries that our listings go to. Plus, in each country, the listing is automatically translated into that country's native language, so they can understand it. They can toggle between the original language and their language as well if they want. Okay, we also gain access to luxury marketing via the exclusive James Edition luxury network, which you'll see there. The James Edition really is the benchmark for luxury marketing. So that's only for qualifying properties, obviously. At this stage, it's all properties above 10 million Rand. They go through the James Edition. So these platforms really, really bring serious reach and credibility to our marketing. Actually, we've added to this, we're now on the Green Acres platform as well, which is all over Europe, etc. So a lot of exposure. And this combination immediately sets you apart instantly from most traditional agents. So the big thing is to know is, with all this global exposure, it's meaning you're getting more eyes on your listing, you're getting more clicks, you're getting more quality leads. Okay. And again, all these things are not just to sell the property. It's a big differentiator, my favorite word today, to set you apart from other agents when you are trying to win listings. All right. So just to show you, once you've listed a listing, then this is where you choose where it will be fed through to. So you can obviously choose whether it actually goes to the EXP website. Maybe it's a pocket listing. Maybe the people don't want it out in the public at all. Anyway, so EXP South Africa, you can choose Property 24, Private Property, My Property, Flow Marketing, which is the platform so it feeds through and sits there waiting for you if you want to do paid meta marketing, which is Facebook and Instagram. We'll talk about that later. Then the James Edition we mentioned, which is for the luxury, ProperStar, 34 plus countries, and Green Acres. So you can just feed it through from here and it automatically syndicates. All right. Talking a bit about ProperStar. I just want to quickly show you. So I've actually just taken a video so that I don't have to go online and I'll go and browse around and fiddle. So let me play this video, which just shows you. So you can actually also log into the ProperStar network, and there you will see all the same listings. All your listings that you had loaded on PropCon and that fed through everywhere, you can now see in ProperStar, because here you can see a lot more about how your listings are appearing out there. I'm playing the video quickly. So there you'll see, it's the same listings, all the listings you had fed through from PropCon. You click on a specific listing, there it is. There it says which countries it's going to be in. You can also click on that and actually see which countries. So this you can also share with your sellers to show them, everywhere it's going to be going. And the world is really getting smaller, so buyers are coming from all over at the moment to anywhere. Okay, there's all the countries that they're in. Now, when you go there to the translation part, you'll see I'm clicking on the right on translations. Now you will see you can have a look what it's going to look like in any specific country. So there's obviously the English, which is the way I had fed it through. And now you can click on any country and you'll see what it looks like there, if it means anything to you. But that's what the client in that country will see if he's choosing his native language. Okay. And then the big thing is from here, they can obviously now contact you. And the nice thing is, there we go, messages. I'll show it there. So look, you get these messages fed through, obviously, to PropCon. So you will receive them, but you can also look at them here. And the people are inquiring in their own language, right? So that they understand. By the time you get the inquiry, you can translate it into your language. I'm just going to click on one there. There we go. So you'll see this is in English, but if I turn the translation is actually turned on. If I turn it off, you will see the original. There we go. Turned off. This is actually what the guy inquired on, right? In Dutch. Hallo, ek ben geïnteresseerd in deze woning. But we received it in English. Okay. So I think that says a lot, just to show you how the ProperStar network works in the 34 plus countries that your listings are seen. And there just again, James Edition. So if your seller wants prestige, this is prestige. Okay, this is it. You actually usually don't need to explain this. Many sellers that operate in these types of price ranges, they will immediately recognize what you're talking about. It's just, it's absolutely the benchmark for luxury in the world. Not only real estate, but in our case, that's what we're interested in. Okay, so it positions your luxury listings in front of high net worth clients worldwide. It's one of the most attractive marketing tools for luxury clients, definitely for us. And then another game changer. This is specific to EXP. This is EXP's own international portal. So it's called Live, lyvve.com. You can go and have a look. This is EXP's own global property platform across, at this stage, nearly 30 countries. We're aiming for 50 in the near future. So there's about 90,000 agents because, as you know, EXP is one company. It's not a whole lot of franchises. So buyers can basically browse all EXP properties worldwide in one place. So all EXP properties from 90,000 agents in 30 countries. So there's no more jumping between websites. Now, sellers obviously benefit not only from the international visibility, but also from the cross-border collaboration between the 90,000 EXP agents, because that's where much of the magic with EXP lies, is that collaboration worldwide, countrywide, because it's not franchise competing actually against each other. Right, so this is the future of real estate, in my opinion. It's just borderless visibility, you can say, and discovery and collaboration. All right. And this platform is going to keep expanding. The plan is to be in 50 countries by 2030, and it'll just never stop, right? 500,000 agents. It's just going to keep going. Okay, that's pretty much what it looks like. That's what when you have a look at the website, you can go onto a world map. Obviously, you can zoom in and then go to specific countries, specific cities, etc. So you can see all the properties that are available. So it really opens up your listings to clients far beyond your immediate area. And as I said again, it also allows us as agents to collaborate with thousands of other agents, EXP agents across the world, and do business together. So it's another channel of income, right? Okay. Now, every agent needs a strong personal brand. So your company's brand is one thing, okay? But that's not what it's about, really. Every agent today needs their own strong personal brand and a professional online presence of their own, okay? You are in business, really. Even no matter what brand you're working for, you are an entrepreneur and you are in business for yourself. So clients want to see who you are and what you offer, right? And why they should trust you personally. They're not dealing with the company. They're dealing with you. It's a personal and it's a relationship-based business. So your own online profile is actually very often the first impression people get of you, long before they even speak to you. Very often. As I said, people are stalking us. Okay, and this is really the case. So this is why having your own branded microsite or digital business card, but a quality one, is such a powerful tool. Okay, because your marketing must actually work for you 24/7, even while you sleep. And people must be able to see who you are and what you're about. So in EXP, we obviously have each single agent gets a microsite that they can set up. You can just go in from the Okta again, quite simple. So basically, you set up a microsite of your own. I'm going to show you an example of ours now. So you then simply send your link to your microsite to any client, buyers or sellers. Your microsite then allows clients to browse your listings if they want to, but they also get to know you, see who you are. It also serves, obviously, as your digital business card. That's always up to date and easy to share with people. So buyers basically can follow your listings directly, and sellers, on the other hand, can see your full marketing presence and how you are presenting yourself out there. So this really helps you stand out as a true professional in what's becoming, or actually already is, a very crowded real estate market. Okay, that's one of the easiest tools to use, but it's definitely one of the most powerful. So with your own website link over there on the slide, you'll see there's Lydia's link. You can just send that link to anybody and they can go and have a look at your microsite. So it takes it very easy to set it up. Then it highlights, obviously, yourself and your biography and your listings, your contact details, etc. You can also share it via WhatsApp or whatever. Okay, this is miles ahead. You'll see the quality of what most agents present these days. Plus, it really makes you become searchable in your market. And we're not even going to talk about that now, but when AI is going to start suggesting agents to people, they are starting to ask AI who's the best agents in an area, and having your own personal website presence is very, very important. And I'm going to show you how detailed this presence actually is. So again, this is just a video of me scrolling down the website. So this is created for us. We created it. So there you go. There's all your listings. People can see that at any time. You actually also have the option in the back end to toggle so that they can see all EXP's listings on your side. Then obviously it's a little bit about you. You get all your social links at the bottom and contact forms that people can contact you, links to your Facebook and Instagram, etc. That's all very, very handy. On the About Us page, there's a separate page. There's just a bit more about you, so they really can see what you are and who you are and what you're about. And then very, very important, especially, is putting out content. Okay, so you have your own blog. There you go. And you can create articles, which is becoming easier and easier these days with the help of AI. So here you'll see I've got a whole lot of articles, but this is what I've been doing over the years, so I just added them here. So you can add articles on a weekly basis, daily basis, whatever. So you've now got a full-on fledged website full of content, right? And this is very, very important. So in my case, okay, there's all sorts of things, and I actually make videos about them as well. So I've got those on my blog. So you can go and start creating content and start being visible as the expert in your area, not just some agent that works for some brand. Okay, very, very important going forward, especially in this AI era. The AI is going to reward people who look credible, not just somebody who says they're a good agent. Credibility, content, adding value. Very important. Okay, so we have all that at our disposal, and you will agree that's a very, very professional agent website for a single agent. Okay, now we've spoken about portals. Portals are important, but they are not enough. So when you're marketing your listings, the main thing is the property portals are obviously essential. I mean, yes, we know they're essential, and we sell many properties off them, and we all use them, and we must use them. But here's the limitation of those portals. Portals generally only reach buyers who are actively searching for properties right now, firstly. So to see your listing, the buyer actually really has to go onto the portal. They have to search in the specific suburb that your property is in. And they have to search most likely in the correct price range, otherwise they won't see your property. So firstly, if they're not actively searching today, or if they're not searching within those specific criteria where your property is located, then it's quite simple. Your listings actually simply don't exist to them. Are you with me? That's where there is a huge, huge gap of buyers that are not finding your listings or seeing your listings. So this is where social media and paid ads comes in. Okay, people's attention has moved. It's shifted. People are not just sitting on property portals all day. They're busy, right? But they are on social media. That's a fact. People are on social media. They're scrolling. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram, and so forth. So if you want to reach them, that's where their attention is, and that's where you can find them. Okay. Now, firstly, let me say we personally have used paid social media marketing for many, many years. I've upskilled myself in that area, and I promise you this, half of our sales come from paid social media marketing. I'm talking about the listings that we advertise, okay? Strategically targeted ads. So that when they're sitting on Property 24, but after a while, it often goes stale, we use the social media marketing, and we end up selling half our properties off there, even though they are on Property 24. The reason, again, as I said, the portals tend to be passive. Just look at the slide there. Portals are passive, okay? So you basically post your property, and then you sit and wait, and you hope. You're competing with 50 similar listings in the same market often. You really are just hoping that someone is going and searching in the right place on the portal so that they can find your listing and contact you. Now, paid ads, on the other hand, are not passive or reactive. Paid ads are proactive. Okay, you actually push the listing to the right people. You target your ads based on people's recent behavior. I mean, we know Facebook knows what you're looking at and what you're doing. So you target your ads based on what they've been doing recently. You target people's intent, right? You reach buyers who are not actively looking today, sometimes even. They're going to be looking soon, but Facebook actually knows that from what they're doing online. So you can even find people that aren't looking on the portals right now. You can reach buyers who are actually looking, but they're not looking at your listing, as I've already explained. Okay, I'm not going to go into depth there. And you reach buyers even before they start searching. I've mentioned that. So this is really, really powerful. Okay. Now, what's important to remember is there's a distinction to be made here. You get organic social media posts, which is what you simply post on your profile, and a certain amount of people might see it, but it has very limited reach. Here we're talking about paid targeted marketing. Facebook is free for us to use, but Facebook needs to make money. So it is a pay for play. I mean, they're actually giving attention to the people who are paying for ads. Right, so we're talking about paid ads here. Now, the problem is paid ads are not that easy to do on your own in the back end of Facebook, in the marketing center, in the business center, etc. So many agents think they're going to lose money if they do paid ads, and many agents do actually lose money, but there's a reason. So let me say this just quite clearly. Most agents don't lose money on ads. If they say they're losing money, they're usually not losing money on ads, they are losing money on bad ads. Okay. So they're losing money because the ad is shown maybe firstly to the wrong people. So you're spending money, but the wrong people are seeing it. They're not actually, there's no chance that they're going to be buying houses. Or the ad creative, what it looks like, doesn't catch enough attention. Okay. Or otherwise there's no follow-up once there are actually leads. So the money doesn't just disappear. It just produces views with no outcome. That's now a bad ad. When ads are done in the right way and with the right system, they become much more predictable. Okay, and definitely less of a gamble. I've always got to say with this, look, it's not magic. You pay money to be on Property 24 as well, whether you're paying it or your franchise. You pay a lot of money to be on Property 24. Doesn't mean the properties always sell immediately. So with this as well, I mean, you can spend money, and it's not magic, but generally it does have a predictable outcome in the long run. And apart from it, again, you're not just advertising the listing to sell it. Your sellers are also seeing it because they're in that area. All right. So now, as I said, it's difficult, okay, because Meta ads are very, very powerful. If I talk about Meta, sorry, that's Meta owns Facebook and Instagram. They actually also own WhatsApp. Okay. So when we're talking about Meta, I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram ads. The problem is they're powerful, but the back end is messy, as I've said. It's really, really technical if you want to place ads yourself within the Meta system. And then it's easy to waste money. Now, we use a system called flow marketing, which fixes the 3 hard parts that usually cause ads to fail, which you'll see there. So the things that make that your ad will fail often, flow makes those parts easy, which is the targeting. In other words, finding audiences that actually sort of match your listing, that have a chance of actually buying the listing. Then the creative, which is the kind of visuals and the structure of the ad so that it actually attracts attention. And then the follow-up, what happens once somebody is interested in that property. Okay, so follow-up is very important so that the leads don't just die quietly. All right, so our flow system makes it very, very easy. It makes the paid ads easy, and it makes it sort of like a plug-and-play system. So again, you access flow from your Okta. As I've said previously, remember we were talking about PropCon, you could just click a button and it would feed the listing through to flow, the listing through to flow, so that it's sitting there basically waiting for you. So now you go into flow, there we go. Just a bit of a sort of a description. So again, flow removes the complexity. That's the big thing you've got to know. It makes it easy, okay? It integrates directly with your PropCon, which I've just said. So your listings pull through automatically. It targets people based on real property-related online behavior and interest. As I said, Facebook has cookies and algorithms, and it's following you. It knows where you've been and what you've been looking at. Okay, so if you've been looking at home loans recently, or if you've been looking at primary schools in a certain area, then it's going to know this guy's thinking of moving. It's things like that that makes that you can target people with the right interests and the right recent behavior. Okay, so Flow will optimize all of this automatically. So you don't now need to be a Meta ads technician. You don't have to be the technical one in the back end of Facebook, because Flow is designed to help normal agents produce professional paid ads and produce them fast and easily. So, okay, remember, you're not inside the Meta ads manager. You will be inside the actual Flow system. Okay, so you're not building campaigns from scratch, etc., etc. You choose what type of ad you want to do, and then you would simply choose your listing. As I said, it will be sitting there in the system, and then you generate the ad. Now, here's one of the most powerful parts, is you don't only target the suburb that the property is in, right? Like Property 24. I said that's one of the major limitations of Property 24. It depends on the fact that if your property is in Sonnenstraal Heights, which is one of our suburbs, then we are hoping that someone is going onto Property 24 and searching in Sonnenstraal Heights. Okay, now with Flow, you can target different areas. So you can target similar suburbs. So people who might be looking at other suburbs and not be looking at your suburb, but who might be interested. So you target other relocation markets as well. You can target people based on their recent online behavior, as I've said. So this is very important. Many buyers that are actually looking in other suburbs, but that would buy your listing if they knew about it, but they probably never see it on the portals, right? Because they are just searching in a specific stuff. So this really now expands your reach strategically. And I'm blabbering on, but it's very exciting. Okay, so within the system, it's very easy to set up. The styling is clean and modern. Your ads look polished. You'll see you can tweak the ad and wording. On the left is what it actually looks like. On the right is where you can change wording and stuff like that. You can change the photos, because once you've chosen a listing, which is fed through from PropCon, obviously all the photos are there, so you could change the different photos that you use, adjust the headline. And then, of course, you choose your ad budget or your ad spend, which is the amount of money you're willing to spend on the ad. That, of course, is to pay Facebook, right, or to pay Meta. And then you launch. So that part, you've got to pay yourself. The whole system and the subscription to Flow Marketing, EXP covers that, but obviously they can't cover whatever an ad agent wants to spend. So that's for yourself. But it's all easily controlled, it's simple, and it's fast. Really, really works. So this is eventually what the buyer sees while he's scrolling his social media. And the system has now decided this guy has a possibility of buying a house in this area. So it shows it to him, and this is what he sees. And that's if they match the targeting, as I said. So now you're not waiting anymore for buyers to show up. They don't have to show up. You are now showing up to them. That's the important part, right? Proactive. Okay, very important. When a buyer clicks on a listing, because now he's seen your ad, but I mean, it's a one photo ad, that type of thing. So there's not that much detail that they can show on Facebook. So you don't want him just saying, yes, I want to see the property, because yeah, it's going to be a very cold lead, and most of them are going to be time wasters. So what happens with Flow is when they click on your ad, they actually don't go straight to you. They first go to a full branded listing page. So this has the full property description, all the photos. It has the video if you had a video. So when they now contact you from there, when they click on contact agent, now we're talking about a warm lead. They really knew what this property is about, and they do want to see it. So it's not just someone clicking through randomly. You get a strong landing page, and that can then actually really doubles the quality of your leads. Okay, and then there's obviously lots of analytics that you can look at, how many views, clicks, what the engagement was. So you can learn what's been working and what doesn't, and tweak it, etc. Again, the portals are necessary, but these paid ads is what gives you the real leverage. Okay, and again, it's not only about the listing. Your sellers are also seeing these ads on their social media. Okay, so again, these things help you actually win future mandates. And what's also very exciting, coming very, very soon in Flow, Flow is not standing still. Very soon, apart from the Facebook and Meta ads and Instagram, they're also going to be doing Google Ads integration for us, which will be directly available inside Flow. Now, let me tell you, I've done Google Ads before as well. Google Ads are really, really powerful, but they are very technical to get right. Really, very difficult. Because with Google Ads, you need to target the correct strategic keywords. You need to target the correct phrases, not only keywords and phrases. Then you also have to choose negative keywords correctly, and you have to choose negative phrases. Otherwise, you really waste a lot of money. If you get it wrong, you really can waste a lot of money. Okay, but if you get it right, it can be very effective. So instead of only running social ads, we'll also soon be able to combine sort of social with Google search as well inside one system. That's really going to expand our reach even further very, very soon. Very excited about that. Okay. Now, marketing is good. All right. We've spoken about that. All the portals, international portals, paid marketing, everything we have at our disposal. But marketing only works when the design looks professional and trustworthy. Right, so what you put out there, if it's not looking good, it's not going to attract attention anyway, no matter where you put it. But the problem is most agents don't have time, right? And they also don't have the design skills necessarily. So, and sometimes don't have the money to pay the person with the design skills. So that's why tools like Canva Pro become incredibly valuable, which make it easy for us. They let you produce high quality marketing material very, very easily, within minutes, without having to rely on outsiders to produce things like this for you. So we all know, I mean, professional design will instantly just elevate your marketing and elevate your personal brand. So we all have access to Canva Pro. And again, we access it straight from the Okta dashboard. So here you can make anything from social media posts to property brochures. It's drag and drop. It's very simple. You've got branded templates in there. It's one of the most user-friendly tools for busy agents, but it's also, Canva is definitely one of the benchmarks in digital design for the layman, if you want to put it that way. All right. So Canva Pro really does take things a step further. Okay. It's just, yeah, with advanced branding features. So you get access to the full Canva Pro like any other person would who subscribes to it, with millions of templates. But because you're within EXP, you also get access to EXP branded templates that get loaded up. It's an enterprise section, they call it. You also get obviously access to many AI tools within Canva. So you can create anything: presentations, flyers, banners, your boards, business cards, newsletters. Even new functionality is amazing with the newsletters. Anyway, so this really can make you look polished wherever you're putting yourself out there without needing a professional designer. So it's really one of our most valuable tools. There's just a bit of a Canva's Magic Studio. Obviously, AI is advancing, so Canva advances with their Magic Studio, which is AI powered, which helps you in many ways. With AI Studio, you can remove backgrounds from images. You can replace objects within images. You can clean them up and brighten and lighten them. You can create new images just from scratch with a prompt. So it really turns complicated design tasks into simple, like one-click actions. It makes it very easy. Drag and drop, and just with the AI, you just prompt it what you're looking for. So AI tools like these, they really do give you the professional edge and give you professional results without needing any professional skills or having to pay people to do it. As I mentioned, you got lots of EXP branded templates within there. This I did quite a while back, but as you'll see, there's pretty much anything: sellers guides and seller tips for social media, whatever, your boards, your newsletters, anything you can think of. EXP branded section, apart from the millions of templates you have available in the general Canva as well. Okay, now let's move on to something different. So after we've looked now at all the superior marketing tools, the portals, the everything, even the designing part with Canva. So now you've been really upping your game and you're visible and you're out there. So now you're definitely sure to be generating sales, right? You've got everything, you've used it. Now you're going to start generating sales. So as you all know, a real estate transaction has multiple stages, right? Various parties and deadlines. And so if you don't have a solid system, we also know that with transactions, things can easily fall through the cracks. That is why obviously tracking your deals properly and making sure everything's always in place in the right time, etc., is very, very essential. Now, again, we use PropCon here for our deal tracking or our transaction tracking. And it solves a lot of these problems, or it solves all of these problems, right? So good transaction management, basically, or a good transaction management system, you want to call it that, is really essential for an agent, just to protect your commission, really, and just make sure your client relationships stay good, and just make sure the transactions are smooth and all compliant, etc. Now, PropCon we use for our deal tracking. So it gives you a structured visual dashboard for all your deals. You can track milestones, you can link parties to deals, you can upload all the relevant documents, obviously, in one place, the OTP, etc. It helps you stay organized from the time that the offer is signed right through to registration of transfer and even thereafter. Okay, so all this really reduces your stress, keeps your clients informed and everything. So a clear deal workflow, that just really builds trust with your buyers and your sellers as well, all right, and the attorneys, and it makes your life easier. So again, we know PropCon by now. We've used it as a CRM. We've used it for the listings. Now we're using it for deal tracking, as you'll see on the left there. So again, I'm not going to run in. Once you're in a specific deal, you have all the tabs at the top where you can fill in the details and all the commissions and add buyer details and seller details and so on. You've got a drive tab, all the tabs at the top there. On the drive, you would upload all your documents and so on about that specific deal and IDs and whatever, property condition reports. And then once you've loaded the deal and everything's in place, you simply click the button at the top which says notify transaction team, and then at least now the transaction team at EXP is also informed about the deal, so they can start looking into things and making sure everything's in place. Okay. Now what's important once you've sold, so you've now done sales, you've advertised, you've done sales, the flow is carrying on. So with transactions obviously comes a lot of compliance responsibility. We know this, right? Compliance is one of the biggest stress points for South African agents, and it's becoming worse and worse. Our laws are very strict, which is a good thing. But one mistake can lead to hefty penalties, or even worse, for agents as well as agencies. It's really happening daily now. Penalties are being handed out by FIC, etc. Yeah, it's terrible. Okay, but with the right systems, compliance actually becomes simple and safe. All right, so let's look at how we handle FICA, especially FICA, properly and responsibly. Just remember, I mean, you have to be very aware of what the law says. And we often think, let's just get the guy's ID and a proof of address and we're fine. It's just not that simple anymore. So this is all about protecting yourself as much as it is also about protecting your clients and your sellers, etc. So our FICA system basically integrates through Okta. We use a system called Encino, which used to be called DocFox, if people know that. This is again obviously included for EXP agents. So clients can then either upload their own documents onto the DocFox system. I call it DocFox because you're used to that. It's actually the Encino system. They can upload their own documents securely on there. If they choose to, you'll just send them a link. Or otherwise, you can still collect the documents as you used to and then upload them and capture them yourself on the Encino system. So there are automated screening checks for various sanctions lists and terrorist lists and so on. I'm going to speak a little bit about that shortly. But this system really, it just removes the fear and the risk around FICA. And just make sure you're not going to suddenly find yourself liable for hefty fines and maybe even worse. Okay, so again, as I said, you just go from Okta straight into the system. That's just a simple, sort of a glimpse of I just created a profile for Lydia, right? So here's a glimpse of what it basically looks like, what the interface looks like. So agents can upload documents and monitor. You'll see on the left, you've got identity and address, etc. But what's very, very important, if you look on the left there, you'll see there's a thing called watch list hits and media search. So that's the screening that DocFox does in the background. Actually, it even takes once you upload the ID document, it even goes to the Department of Home Affairs and checks whether that ID number really belongs to that name, etc. But okay, then it takes UN sanctions lists, terrorist lists, PIP, which is people of important lists. Very important, you are expected to do this. Are you checking all your clients against those lists? If you are not, and they turn out to be on one of those lists and you didn't flag it, you will be in big, big trouble, okay? Really big trouble. So all this just really turns something that's stressful and actually where you have to be compliant, but it turns it into a streamlined process for us. All right. Another thing I'm just going to talk about quickly. So very often sellers would need access to funds earlier, sometimes even agents, right? Bridging finance. So it's very common for sellers to need funds before transfer. They might need them for COCs, or they might need them to pay for moving costs or deposits on their next home. Maybe they have to put a deposit down on the next house, or they have to pay the transfer fees for the next house that they buy. Or maybe they even agree in the OTP that they're going to repair the roof, which is going to be 100,000 rand. So they need funds earlier than what registration takes place. So we have a very simple and a paperless bridging solution that makes these situations very, very easy. Okay, so let's look at that quickly. The system we use is called Snapit. It's paperless, right? Bridging finance. So Snapit just provides us with fast, as I said, paperless bridging finance for sellers and of course for agents. We all know, I mean, sometimes we also need money, right? I mean, you know, we're in an up and down business. Cash flow is not guaranteed. Sometimes you just need money a little bit earlier than what you're actually going to receive it, as long as the deal is final, of course. So agents can also unlock commissions and advances before the transaction actually registers if necessary. It's very quick. It's very easy to use and completely digital. Okay, it really just helps keep things on track, but not pages and pages you have to sign. And the nice thing is, if you were to refer a seller and they make use of this, you will actually receive a referral fee. So that's another third-party income. EXP is famous for many third-party incomes that they generate which go directly to the agent 100%. So it's also an extra income stream. Okay, again, from there, you're simply going to snap it. Very, very easy. In the app, you just click, you go in, you will see the various types of snaps. So on the right is commission if it's for you. Sellers can have various types of snaps. If they click on there, or you just send them the correct link and so that the Snapit knows you referred them, and you will get a referral commission. Okay, another system we use, which makes our life very, very easy. We don't have to use it all the time, but we do use it quite often. So you all know this situation, right? Maybe you've got a hot listing. You've got multiple buyers, right? Your phone suddenly doesn't stop ringing after that show house or after that first appointment where you had 15 people coming to look at the house. Now suddenly you've got all sorts of pressure. You've got timing pressure, right? Buyers are starting to get emotional because they want to put in their offer now. Paperwork just becomes total chaos, right? So just the general timing is tricky, and to be able to see every single buyer at a time that suits them and suits you both, that's difficult. So this is exactly where deals often fall apart, and often where misunderstandings also take over and people get upset with you. Okay, and again, it's not because we're bad agents. It's just because we're trying to manage all this chaos manually in the old way. So now the question begs is, how do we fix this? Okay, we have a solution. It's called EXP's iBid digital offer system. Okay, the name says iBid. It can be a bidding system as well. I'll explain, but it doesn't have to be a bidding system. So this is the solution. EXP's iBid digital offer solution. Instead of chasing around after buyers and sort of trying to handle multiple WhatsApps and emails and phone calls, and you have to see this buyer tomorrow morning at 7, otherwise he's flying out of the country. But you can't, because the other buyer also wants to see you at 7 because he's also flying out, whatever. So this is the solution. Instead of chasing around and handling all these multiple things at once and trying to make sense of it, we use the iBid system. Okay, so what this system does is it can manage your offers digitally, okay, if you choose to. You don't have to use this for every single scenario, but the option is there. So it removes the chaos when it's difficult to get to see buyers at mutually convenient times, or when you've got multi-offer situations, when all the buyers are hounding you. That's when it is also very, very handy. Or of course, if you've got buyers that are overseas, right? Same thing you're going to see here. So it saves us a lot of time. Saves us a lot of time. And it really reduces your stress levels and your buyer's stress levels, make no mistake. Okay, so it brings structure into what is normally a very sort of emotional and messy situation often. So basically how it works is when a buyer wants to make an offer, tells you, yes, I'm interested, he lets you know, I do want to make an offer, then you simply send them a secure link, right? The system, the iBid system, then guides them step by step. It asks every required question that it needs to compile a structured OTP. You know, how much is your offer? Is it subject to bond? Is it subject to sale? Gets all the details. All right. Then it can then compile an OTP, and then also all documents such as the property condition report, the fixtures list if you have one, or any other documents that you actually want to form part of an OTP and get a buyer to acknowledge as part of the OTP. Those you would also have uploaded into the system for that specific property. So the buyer would have to see those as well and acknowledge them. Right. So now this whole system makes it easy. So the buyer fills it in, the OTP is created. There's no missing pages, no incomplete clauses, no mistakes made because you were in a hurry, etc. All right. This is just quickly, when you send the buyer link, this is pretty much what he receives then in his email. It says, thank you very much for your interest in this property. Just click on the link down below if you want to start creating your offer. Then the process, as I said, takes him much further, and he's guided through. But at this stage, there's no meeting required. So if there's more than one, even if it's only one buyer, you can use the system. So even if it's just one, it still makes the process easier. But if there's multiple buyers also, then it makes your life a lot easier. Okay, then once completed, obviously, a nice professional OTP is created by the system, nicely structured. It then gets digitally signed. And yes, I know the Alienation of Land Act does require wet ink signatures, and we will take care of that. But at least at this stage, you've got this pure intention digitally signed, or if there's 10 offers, you've got 10 people's pure intentions digitally signed. Okay, so the agreement is clean and nicely aligned with very little fuss. Okay, and as I said, your property condition reports will be attached and everything. So getting the wet ink signature is going to be the easy part. Right. So now the nice thing is the system automatically keeps buyers informed at every stage. So they will get a confirmation. Thank you very much for your offer. If you are using the bidding system, then they'll get updates about that. There's been another offer or whatever. So if you've set it up like that. And then what the final outcome is, they also get informed. So nobody feels ignored. Well, this is just an example. So various messages the buyer will get at different stages of the process. So he always feels informed. Then, of course, once the buyer and the seller are actually in agreement, then we simply obtain the necessary wet ink signatures, which will hopefully even change in future. But for now, yes. But at least up to now, it was a smooth and simple process. Now all you need is the signatures because everybody's in agreement. So by this point, everything is already structured and agreed. And so the paperwork is just a procedure, really, that wet ink signature. Okay. What's very nice about this system, I mean, firstly, it's not only for multiple offers, as I said, right? It can also be a single offer situation, and then it just ensures that the offer is complete and professional, etc. But when there are multiple buyers, you can also run it as a bidding system, either an open bidding system or a sealed bidding system. Open meaning everybody knows what has been offered and they can then up the offer, or a sealed one is just everybody makes their offer and nobody knows what the other one is offered. Anyway, but all this creates fair competition, so it removes suspicion from your buyers. Okay, very, very, you know the feeling. So there's no suspicion from the buyers. They know they had a fair chance. Sellers get to see every single offer clearly. They're very sure that you've been transparent and you've presented all offers. Backup offers can be secured. So if you've got multiple offers, then you can choose the best one and the others can be converted into backup offers. So it's all just structured and transparent and very controlled. Okay, and that really just builds that transparency. I mean, it builds a lot of trust with your buyers and your sellers, and again just makes you stand out from the rest, and you will get future referrals once again from that. Okay, and buyers really love the system too, obviously. I mean, they know they're being created fairly. They can see that. They know you're not trying to brush them aside or something stupid, which you don't do, but they sometimes think you do. They can submit structured, complete offers. They receive proper communication all the time and updates of where the process is standing. So there's no suspicion on their part, as I said before. Okay, there's no feeling that someone else was favored or anything like that. So it just all creates a professional and a modern experience for everybody. And when buyers feel treated fairly, obviously, they also just tend to sort of behave more seriously. Okay, if that makes sense. So let's be just very clear about something here again. ARBA is not just about convenience. It's not just about saving time. Okay, it's also about positioning yourself as the go-to agent. This is a tool that you can advertise to people that this is what type of technology you use. So when you show a seller that you manage offers transparently, that buyers are treated fairly, that offers are properly structured and complete and legally, compliant, and that everything is just controlled properly, then you immediately elevate yourself, right? So you are no longer just another agent taking offers manually. Now they see you as the professional agent, right? Differentiator, my favorite word. They see you as the professional agent with superb systems. So that is another huge differentiator in your listing presentations. All right. Moving on. Another thing where systems often come short in our industry. So agents, you'll see there, agents need fast and organized communication, right? Good communication tools are very essential in a real estate company. So just WhatsApp groups, they get messy very quickly, and emails get buried sometimes in the messes. It's a real problem. So intercommunication, this is why a proper and secure communication platform is really, really important for agents. Okay, EXP solves this through using systems called Slack and the EXP Hub. Okay, and these tools just bring order to internal company communication especially. So the main thing is, through Slack or the EXP Hub, you are connected to 90,000 EXP agents worldwide and growing, right? Plus you're connected to management and CEOs and whoever across the globe. You have access to groups by country, various country groups where communication can take place. You have access to groups for regions, specialities, topics. You can create groups for your areas and then it's easy to communicate there. So you can obviously over here, you can ask questions from anybody or on a group. You can share referrals. You can brainstorm. You can collaborate in real time with 90,000 agents. Very, very powerful. So it just makes the entire sort of international EXP network feel alive and accessible to everybody. Okay, very important. Again, you simply go from your Okta dashboard and you're in. Now, here's another one, just having access to documents. So you know this pain point again, constantly hunting for the right documents. Where do you find the right documents? We're hunting for the right OTP and mandate documents. And where do I find the latest addendum or the correct property condition report, the latest one, or the correct compliance docs, etc.? Where are the latest ones so that we're sure we're up to date with our documents when we need them very quickly? Right, so here is what EXP has, what we call the Agent Center. I'll just touch on this quickly. So our Agent Center solves this problem. You just access it through your Okta. It gives you all the latest legally updated documents. So when you fetch a document off there, you know management has put it there and it's all updated. So you know where to find the latest correct OTPs or mandates or addendums or whatever it is. And you can access it from anywhere, even on your phone, and then download documents. And you do not have to ask anyone for them, and you don't have to wait for them to send it to you. So this is very, very convenient and reduces your compliance risk, obviously, as well. So again, there into the Agent Center. I'm not going to harp on this. You simply navigate around here, various menus at the top. When you're in the documents section, there you go. You'll have all your OTPs and documents. You simply click on them and then download them. Very, very easy. Then there's also company documents. So, you know, very often these days, very important, the conveyancer will want your company's FFC. They'll probably want the FFC of the principal of EXP. You just go into the Agent Center. You don't have to ask someone for it because you've mislaid the previous one. You go into EXP, you get the latest one. Download it, send it to whoever needs it. Okay. Plus, there's a whole section on logo and branding guidelines. Very, very handy as well. Canva toolkit tells you, gives you a bit of training on Canva. Anyway, so very, very handy. Now, tools and systems definitely help you work smarter, right? I mean, I'm sure we're all in agreement there now. So now we're going to be moving on to section 3. What we've covered so far was all the tools and the systems that we use, obviously, for lead generation, lead nurturing. We covered how we list and market our properties properly, globally, everywhere, and how we elevate our personal brand and our designing skills. All this to help you win listings, of course, as well, not just to market properties. So now let's shift to how we are actually supported in our ecosystem and what training we can get access to, and how we make sure we are growing all the time personally, personal growth as agents. So this is what helps us to learn continuously and perform better, and obviously build a more stable business. It's just staying up to date and staying relevant. Okay, section 3. So this is the part, as I said, that helps agents grow steadily and sustainably. And very importantly, this is also where we're going to cover how we receive support that we need when we need it, very importantly. Okay, not when somebody else is available. So we'll be looking at training. We'll be looking at various artificial intelligence tools again. We'll be looking at virtual offices, game changer. We're going to touch on multiple income streams, which is also sets us apart. We don't just earn commission, but anyway. And all of that just works together. So it all creates a business environment really where agents can, what we're talking about today, really, agents can scale and grow their businesses, right, without burning out. Okay. So firstly, let's talk a bit about training. I mean, we must stay up to date on all fronts. Now, these days, your franchised agency, now and then they'll get somebody in to teach you something about a contract or something. It's very limited often. Okay. We must stay up to date, as I said, on all fronts. So agents who stay educated and actually receive relevant and up-to-date training, they are also always going to outperform other agents, because they know what's happening in the market now and what's working and what's not. Okay, so what is nice these days, obviously, in our environment is modern training pretty much has no boundaries. So you can learn about anything, anytime, and from anywhere. You just need to know how to access it and where it is, and the quality that is provided must be good. So there must be content for every experience level, from a new agent through to a seasoned producer. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Okay, so the question here is, do you have access to this type of training? Up-to-date knowledge, up-to-date training, up-to-date knowledge is really, that just is one of our biggest advantages, because we can very often get old in our market if we just carry on doing what we were doing. Okay, so world-class training. In our environment, you're going to see, we have training sessions in our systems that run live every week, which you can attend voluntarily. They're often repeated, obviously, on a weekly basis, so you don't miss out as well. EXP University, you're going to see, which gives us on-demand training with global and local content. And then the top producers, or the icon agents, are encouraged by EXP, and they get rewarded to do it. They're encouraged to sort of teach other agents what's working for them right now in the market to be successful. Very important, relevant, up to date. Okay, so we need continuous education, obviously designed for real world application in our businesses. And just on that note, to everybody who's here, congratulations for attending webinars like the ChatGPT and AI webinars in this webinar. Congratulations, it shows that you want to stay current. Okay. So again, from Okta, you can access various types of training. Here's EXP University. Here's just a glimpse, okay? There's so much in there. So everything is structured into categories, whether you're looking for marketing training or lead generation, systems training, compliance training, whatever. Just look over there, the AI Accelerator, that's one of the latest ones, was a 7-series training program. Just keeps you up to date. What's happening in the market? What's happening in your industry? How can you stay up to date? Okay, so you can jump into any course at any time at your own pace. So this just really makes professional development and just staying up to date. Makes it simple, okay, and it makes it easy and at your own pace. Another one, SA Agent Learning Path. So that's EXP University is a global one. SA Agent Path brings a bit of a local flavor to things. So here this is our own sort of South African tailored learning system, aimed specifically at South African agents. So these pathways will guide you depending on your experience level. There's something for everybody. Okay, you're never left guessing what to learn next. There's something for everybody, different pathways depending on where you are in your business. Then, of course, our YouTube channel, lots of recorded weekly sessions, local training and information that's led by our national coach, Stuart. So we have fantastic training just all around available that you can watch at your own time. Okay, now we're getting to what's very exciting. It's actually really, really exciting compared to traditional agencies. So the old-fashioned agencies, okay, I'll get there just now. Agents need fast, reliable support, as I've written there. So decent agent support, it's actually quite a weakness, as I said, in many of the old-fashioned agencies, because you've got to rely on somebody who's sitting in the office at the right time and has not jumped out because maybe their child is ill or something. And that's not to be funny, but yeah. So you need decent agent support, and it must be accessible. You need fast solutions when things go wrong. So the question is, where do we go for not only fast, but instant support? So I'm going to show you, okay? What you're about to see is pretty much having a full support system, a full office system in your pocket or on your laptop. I just love this slide because this is your usual support route. You have to drive through traffic. Okay. Anyway, so our support, no traffic. It's support without waiting. It's support without stress. You don't have to jump in your car. You don't have to get all dressed up. You can work from anywhere without sacrificing support or training you need. Okay. So suddenly, as I said, your office is actually wherever you are. That's where your office is. That's where your support structure is. And that's where your support staff are. They're sitting right there waiting for you. So this alone is really, really life-changing for many agents. So I'm going to introduce you to EXP World, right? This is where support becomes just completely different from anything you've ever seen before. So EXP World gives you, as I said, a full support system in your pocket, on your phone, or on your laptop, wherever. You can access, there's reception, there's specialized departments, whatever staff member you want, whether it's transactions or whatever. There are meeting rooms, there are boardrooms, everything you can think of. I'm going to run through it quickly. Whatever you need, if you need help with listings or transactions, or you need technical support, anything that's bugging you, whatever it is, you simply walk into the virtual office. Okay, there's no getting dressed up, there's no getting into your car, you just walk into the online offices. There's always someone available there to assist you very, very quickly. It's absolutely amazing. It really is amazing once you get used to actually going in there. So again, you simply go into EXP World. Yeah, what I've actually got to do, I'm just going to make sure I've got the sound, and then I'm just going to share a quick, I'm just going to quickly share a video with you, rather than having to go in right now. Okay, so I'm hoping that you are going to, sorry, I'm going to play it now. There we go.
How can I help you?
Man, I'm actually just taking a couple of agents on a tour of all the offices. So I'll go ahead, and you must have a wonderful day.
Fantastic. If you have any questions, please don't be shy to come and visit me at the reception.
Thanks so much, Irene. Thanks a lot. Bye. There you see, I'm just starting to walk down. I'm not going to, this video doesn't just carry on and on and on. As you see, as you're walking down there, you also start seeing the offices and stuff. I'll have a quick glimpse of that now. I'm just going to get back to the actual presentation here. There we go. Okay, so as you saw there, I mean, yeah, so you're just going to reception, you speak to whoever's there, they rotate, they will send you in the right direction depending what your problem is. As you also saw, as I started walking down there, all the support offices. There are dedicated offices for every member of management, and every support staff has their own office. Every department you need is in there. You simply walk in, you ask your question, and someone helps you. Okay. This is what an office looks like. So if you were directed to a specific person and you have a problem with a transaction or whatever, you walk into the office. It's very simple. It's like a little meeting room. You can share your screen. They'll help you exactly. You can share your screen so they can see what you're battling with. They can share their screen on a different screen. You toggle between the two. So it's just very, very easy, and issues really get resolved on the spot. So it's really hands-on support, okay, without you having to travel. All right. And if one staff member is not in, there will be another specialized staff member that can also handle your query. All right. Boardrooms, obviously, as I said, there's boardrooms, there's meeting rooms. This is just an example where you could host your own meetings here if you wanted, or otherwise team sessions, training, smaller training groups are held here. And these spaces just allow groups of agents to meet and collaborate and learn together. Multiple screens on all the walls, so you could also set up different things to share with each other and so on. All right, and remember this whole setup is replacing the expensive overheads of the old-fashioned agencies. So apart from the fact that the old-fashioned franchise systems, you're very much dependent on is the person actually in the office to help you. Also, this system is now replacing all of those expensive overheads in the buildings and things, which is a lot of more money that EXP has available, which it shares back to its agents in various ways. Okay, which we're not talking about right now. Okay, auditorium, same thing. This is just like a bigger meeting room. So it's for bigger events or training sessions, national meetings. So when there's something really important happening and they announce it, you can simply log in, quickly go into the auditorium. It's just cloud-based. It's very, very efficient. Again, you can have multiple speakers, but when you go in there, they're all set up and it goes smoothly. Every speaker just switches to his screen, which is previously set up, etc. Okay, and it works like a Google Meet as well. Obviously, there's chat boxes and you can turn on your mic and speak, etc. Various info hubs within EXP World, little offices, but they're actually info hubs. So there's multiple info hubs that give you quick access if you need information about any of the systems that we've been speaking about, like flow marketing or the iBid system. So you can go in there and you can just get more information about it. You can also learn about all the generous third-party providers that we have arrangements with, where you can earn third-party income from. And then if you look at the bottom right there, there's transaction bot room, for instance. So there's also trained AI bots that can also help you. So even if it is after hours, you can go and ask a trained bot, which is trained on the relevant material, and you could get help in that way. So this just really all empowers agents, okay, to self-learn at your own pace when it suits you, to find out about what's available, etc. Okay. I'm saying okay a lot. I just need to take a quick sip. Right, now I love this. Going forward with technology. What if you wanted to create your own little private office? And this is where we're moving, right? Technology is moving fast. And your newer generation, they love this. So I'm going to show you. Okay, so every EXP agent has the opportunity. You don't have to, but you have the opportunity to design your own private office space within EXP World. Okay, so if you want to, you can now create a space where you can meet clients or meet agents or do consultations and presentations and things right inside your own space. Fully customizable. You decide how it must be set up, etc. You can even create chatbots in there. I'm going to show you a bit. So it's pretty much like your very own professional boardroom that you, again, carry in your pocket. And you simply send a link to somebody and they're in with you. Okay, I'm going to show you quickly. So this is pretty much what your virtual office could look like. It can look, there's various templates and things you can choose from, right? But it feels surprisingly real and creates a really professional atmosphere. So this is what I've set up for us. This is my and Lydia's space. As I said, there's various environments. It doesn't have to look like this one. So I'm going to play a quick video for you once again. It just takes a quick spin around what I've set up for us, just so you can see the possibilities. There's actually our chatbot. And then you'll see I put all sorts of stuff on the walls. Okay, I've got videos and things, so I put them on there. People can go and watch them right there if they want. You can advertise your listings, etc. There's just everything, so you can have information about about bond consultants and so on and so forth. There's a little video about us. You can pretty much put anything you think of on these walls. There you'll see I've got our sole mandate and our offer to purchase. People can go in there, they click on it, they can go page by page, or you can do it with them and discuss things. So this is the type of thing that you see there. Okay. So as you saw in that video, I mean, inside this office, you can share your screen if you wanted to. You can put up things where you can share your webcam or play videos or show documents. It's really fantastic for virtual listing appointments as well and buyer consultations, especially buyers who may be overseas. And this is not strange to people, especially the younger generation. They love it. Okay, and it just makes you look next level. So this is just flexible, right? It's professional, it's convenient, it's easy, and you have this at your disposal if you wanted to create this for yourself. Just some more examples, obviously, so you can show various things to people and you can discuss their other needs like bonds or insurance or whatever, and all these give you also the opportunity to earn third-party incomes. Okay. This is quite amazing. So as I said, you can obviously showcase your listings in there. So you could be with a client and you could be showing them the listing and showing them the photos while you're speaking to the client, right? 3D tours, whatever you've got available. But now, just look at this technology. You can also set up a street view there for a specific property. So let's say this client was looking at this property. They're very, very interested, but they're sitting in London. Right there, quickly, while you're busy chatting to them, you can set up a street view, which is this little sphere here, which I just set it up for a specific address. And then when you walk in there with the client, this is what happens. So you click on the sphere. Now you're actually within your office, you are going into street view. So now there you are. Okay, in this case, Lydia was my client. And so here you can show them this is where the house is, and this is what the neighbor's house looks like. So it's a nice area, and these are the views you've got down the street. Whatever you can walk up and down there while chatting. Okay, show them the local school. You can go over there, show them shopping centers, whatever. So all this while you're speaking to someone. And of course, once you're done, you simply click out and you're back in the office. I'll just go back there. Oops. Once you're done, you simply click out and you're back in the office. And now you can, whatever. Yes, they're very, very interested. Now you can discuss OTPs and things. And as I said, they're all available there in your office. Very, very easy. Now, what's very, very handy as well is in your virtual office, languages can be translated, right? You can translate text and speech into more than 30 languages. So it can either be text to text in a chat box or speech to text. So when you're actually speaking to the person, it'll be translating in text in that person's language. Okay. It just opens up international communication if it is difficult with someone, and it makes cross-border and cross-language collaboration just so much better and smooth and efficient. Here's just an example. So this was actually speech. So I was speaking on the left. You'll see what I was saying, and it was typing it. And then on the right, you'll see how it was appearing on Lydia's laptop, where I had set my language to English, and she had set her language to Afrikaans. So she was seeing what I was saying, she was seeing in Afrikaans, perfectly translated. Okay, but of course you can choose up to 30 languages. Absolutely fantastic technology. And then, as I said, also, you can set up your own personalized chatbot in there with various functionalities. You can train it. So you can train it to help answer common questions. So again, you can send people in there at any time. They go in there, they can wander around, they can chat to your chatbot. And the nice thing is, so you're blending AI now with real estate in a very practical way. Okay. It just gives your business the ultra modern touch in a way. And look, just face it. And the other thing is, well, I mean, people can just ask it anything and it'll answer. I have trained this bot with various information and all the laws of South Africa, property laws. I've put in all my video scripts. Anyway, so it really answers relevantly. And if it doesn't know an answer, you've trained it. I've trained this one. Don't go and look for the answer and give it some rubbish answer. Just tell it, I tell you what, let's get Andre. So that's also a lead generation. Let's get Andre to contact you. Quickly give me your number and he'll be with you soon. So it's also a lead generation tool. Okay. Again, yeah, this is just a bit of, just for fun. I'm really going to share this for you. So really just a bit of tongue in cheek. Just going to get the right one here as well. So I'm not a big dancer, but just for fun, whenever Lydia does a sale, I say, oh, congratulations, meet me in the office. And I'm not a public dancer, but in my own office, I can pull the moves. Anyway, now I do actually have some moves which I learned from my AI bot or my avatar. Okay, anyway, that was just a bit of tongue in cheek. So back to our presentation. Okay, moving on. Oops, not that. Now, I know we're cloud-based, and this is all fantastic because, I mean, it just is fantastic. This type of support that you get is next level. It's what we need in our industry. But even though we're cloud-based, sometimes you might actually have a need for a physical space, or you need to meet someone somewhere, or you do actually just want to go and work where there's other people walking around. So you can blend virtual and physical working, okay, depending on your preferences. This now with EXP. Because we have access to Regus. Right, so there's Regus. Regus has 4,000 plus locations worldwide. And as an EXP agent, you get free complimentary access to any Regus business lounges. So that's the public areas, which could look like you see up there. So you can go and sit there at any stage. We use this often. We're in Durbanville. Maybe we have appointments at a flat in the city center in Cape Town. And in between appointments, we'll go and sit at the Regus. Nice Wi-Fi and everything. And it's wonderful. You just flash your EXP app with your identity and you're in, no problem. So it's a nice professional workspace. You can also meet people there if you wanted to. And if you wanted to use private offices, you can then book them. You would have to pay, but you do get a discounted rate as an EXP agent. Okay, so this is really ideal, obviously, sort of in various situations. If you go overseas, go to London, you don't have to go and sit. You can go to the Regus offices. Okay. So I think this is starting to sum things up. Just starts to sum up what EXP agents, what gives us a sort of an advantage in a modern market, right? I think someone's mic.
Your presentation is not on.
Oh, sorry. Jolly good. Thank you. Here we go. Okay. So you obviously missed, I think, the Regus slides. But anyway, I hope you got the message. Okay, as I said, moving on now. So this pretty much sums up the real advantage we have in this modern real estate market. Okay, we got better training, I do believe, better collaboration amongst worldwide agents, better technology. All this makes a huge difference. Okay, this strong infrastructure, we can almost say, in this global reach that really helps us scale in ways that the old-fashioned models just cannot do and cannot keep up with. Plus, we're not even speaking about that today, but multiple income streams, which create stability for us that go beyond just selling property and even beyond our sort of lifespan of selling property, there's potential to earn further passive income, etc. There's so many ways, third-party incomes. Okay, we're not covering all that today, as I said. So again, I mean, real estate is evolving rapidly, right? It's tech and it's AI and it's marketing, various different ways of marketing, new ways. Client expectations are shifting. They're expecting more from us. Now, so as I said, agents who don't adapt will fall behind. Okay, it's not because they're bad agents. It's just because the industry is moving on. Artificial intelligence, as I said, is not replacing agents. It's empowering the ones who know how to use it. Okay, so this is really the perfect time to modernize your system and future-proof your business. To talk a bit about just general AI quickly, I'm not going to go in depth. So I'm not going to go in depth here at all, as we do offer regular ChatGPT training sessions, as most of you probably have attended. But let's just touch on them. So ChatGPT has evolved from being what I'd say was a nice to have, a novelty. It's now an essential business tool. Okay, it's like having a researcher, a copywriter, a designer, a personal assistant, all in one place. Okay, it helps you work faster, helps you sort of simplify tasks, it helps you produce content fast and at scale. It's just one of the most single powerful tools that you can use. All right, so please do use it. This comes from our presentation. I mean, you can use ChatGPT to create unlimited content of any type, social media, posts, email, newsletters, client communication, much, much more. And there's a lot of advanced functionality, which I do cover in my ChatGPT presentations. So we use it on a weekly, actually a daily basis. We use it every single day for analyzing images, analyzing documents, getting help with things. It helps us with zoning queries in PDF documents, searching and summarizing various documents or laws, helps us with compliance questions, even helps us troubleshoot when we have a problem with systems or programs or Microsoft Word or this or that, Adobe, anything. So, and it can also be used to generate bulk social media content and export it to Excel, which of course then we use with Canva's bulk function. I'm not going there now, sorry. But it's become a core part of our business operation as well, sort of on the side. So it really can supercharge your efficiency, okay, if you use ChatGPT. It can handle advanced tasks and things like that. Okay, I'm not going to go in depth there, but there's so much functionality, especially when you come to the voice functionality and everything as well. Just make sure you get on it. So the thing is, it's not just a chat tool anymore. It's really a full partner, okay? So, I mean, I'm not going to go in depth, but these days it's not just that chatting and creating images. You can build custom GPTs. You can run deep research into things. You can analyze documents. You can automate workflows. The agent mode there, that's just amazing. You can set up agents to do various things and navigate websites and work with files and handle complex tasks on a regular basis for you. And these features are expanding all the time. So do keep up with ChatGPT. This is just a bit of a side note of our actual systems that we use within EXP. Okay. I mean, you can now build your own team of AI-powered digital assistants within ChatGPT. So they could handle various things. They can handle monthly marketing reports or client follow-ups on a regular basis. They can handle database administration, so many admin tasks. Okay, so just imagine having 10 to 20 small little digital PAs working in the background for you, okay, performing multiple tasks that you would usually have had to do and that usually take up so much of your time. So this then frees you up to focus on the personal relationships, which are so important in our business. Anyway, this is the future of productivity. I'm going quite in depth into these things already, and it's amazing. So do keep up with that. The big thing is, this is the big picture. A lot of people still talk about the future like it's coming, but it's not. The future is here. It's here. It's already here. So clients are getting used to instant responses. They're getting used to smarter service and a more seamless experience. Okay. So behind the scenes, smart agents are starting to use automation and AI to take a huge amount of admin off their plates. So I'm not trying to sound dramatic here or anything about the future, right? But it just is a reality. The gap right now is widening between agents who run their businesses with modern systems and agents who are still doing everything manually. All right. So the point of today wasn't go and become a tech person suddenly. Okay. We are not necessarily tech people. So that was not the point. The point is simply use the tools that let you work faster and follow up better and stay top of mind without burning out. Okay, because the tools are there for us. Okay, so now if you're wondering what this looks like in an actual real estate business, I think that's what this sort of sums up. It's very complex, but anyway, it sums it up, because normally as agents, we're forced to build our businesses out of separate pieces. Okay, it's like a CRM here and a bit of training over there, marketing over there. You're trying to do things, you're trying to cover all bases, compliance and offers and admin and everything. So what we really like about the model we're in here is that it's built around one idea, really. It's to give us all the tools we need, all the training we need, all the platforms we need, so that we can really grow our businesses sustainably and using technology and AI. So you've got this agent-centric model. It's really built around the agent, okay? And it's cloud-based. So you've got collaboration worldwide. You've got global reach. You've got the tech stack. You've got so much training ongoing all the time to stay up to date. And then you've got the marketing tools and the workflow tools that actually help you to produce leads and nurture them and convert them into proper paying business. Okay, and then the part that most people often miss is that when a company's overheads are lower, then there's a lot more money available for the agents, right? So this model really supports multiple income streams that go towards the agent, not only commission. Okay, that's quite simply, it's a smarter structure for the world we're moving into. And that pretty much, I'd say, brings me to the main message for today. Once again, it sounds blunt, but it is so, so true. Okay, it's not about fearing technology. It's not about robots replacing agents. Real estate is always going to be human. It's human relationships. It's trust. It's negotiation. It's local knowledge of your area. Okay, nothing can replace the human touch. That's still our job. But what I explained today overall is just sort of, there's a shift happening, or it's already happened. Where is the shift? Agents who use modern systems are going to outperform agents who don't. Okay, that's just that. Because they are going to be able to respond faster. They're going to be able to follow up better. They're going to be able to market wider. They're just going to run a more predictable business with a more predictable pipeline. That's what you have to see today. So your biggest advantage going forward isn't just experience. It's going to be adaptability. Okay, you can have all the experience, but we've got to adapt with the times. So the good news is you don't have to do everything yourself. There's technology. You just need the right stack of tools and systems, and then a decision to actually use it all. All right. So before we wrap up, and this is generally a no pressure, I believe you must be properly informed about what is available in our industry so that you can make proper and informed decisions about your future, and you can decide what is the best fit for you. So if you'd like, at any stage, please reach out to us. We can do a quick one-on-one conversation when it suits you, or we can basically help you in various ways. Firstly, if you're curious about the EXP model and all the additional income streams, we can break that down clearly, answer your questions, and show you what that looks like in practice, which we haven't touched on today. Secondly, if you want, we can actually look at your workflow, see what are you using, and we can brainstorm around it and how you generate leads and how you follow up. And then maybe where the gaps are that are costing you time, or costing you actual business, or actually costing you money. And then thirdly, we could also, if you want to just see the tools I've discussed today, which was on the slideshow, if you wanted to actually see that properly in practice, we could easily do a simple walkthrough of that. We can arrange a Google Meet, and I can take you into the actual Okta backend, etc. Yeah, just so you can see everything and understand what's really possible and decide what actually fits your style. Okay, so please feel free. It's just really, one has to be informed. It's not a sales pitch. If you want that, just get in touch with us, WhatsApp, email, anything. Our details are right there, and we'll take it from there. Anyway, so if that's that, then I say goodbye to you. I hope you have a great, great weekend, and we are wishing you a strong and a focused and a very successful 2026. With that, God bless and goodbye.